שלום לג'ייסון גרינבלט, לשעבר שליח הנשיא האמריקני למזרח התיכון ולמשא ומתן עם הפלסטינים. Hello, sir.
Hello, Attila. It's good to hear your voice. Hello from Riyadh.
Thank you. Same here. When did the discussions surrounding the issue of acknowledging the settlements as not illegal started?
I can't get into the tick-tock of the discussions, but it's something that the administration has been working on, in particular Secretary Pompeo and others, for quite some time. As you can imagine, it's a very important and thorough legal analysis that they did.
Was that a subject that was brought up on the table by the Israeli side?
No. This is something that the administration believes in very strongly. One of the themes I think you've heard us say for a long time, and this is under the president's leadership, is that we believe peace can only be built on truth. So trying to repeat these arguments about who's right and who's wrong under international law is not something that we felt would be conducive to trying to achieve a peace agreement. And obviously, as you could see from the decision, President Trump and the Trump administration decisively disagree with UN Security Council Resolution 2334, which President Obama permitted to pass, and we think that was a terrible, terrible resolution, and terrible that they let that resolution pass.
But, Mr. Greenblatt, you worked very hard in order to make the sides come to the table and sit and talk. How can this decision make the Palestinians feel happy about what the American administration feels like?
The goal isn't to make one side or another happy. The goal is to try to reach a peace agreement. You cannot build a peace agreement without speaking hard truths. And I say we, I'm no longer in the administration, so maybe I mean they, but I'll use the term we. We believe that trying to pacify people without speaking hard truths will never lead to a peace agreement.
But that's a disputed subject. I mean, the Palestinians claim what they claim, we claim what we claim, the Europeans have their own view of that, and now the Americans are siding with the Israelis. That's a disputed issue.
It is a disputed issue, and actually disputed is an excellent word for you to use. We don't like using the word occupied. We like using the word disputed. The land in question is disputed. People refer to it as occupied. It is disputed. And all we are saying is the dispute is going to have to be resolved between the Israelis and the Palestinians themselves. Resolutions at the UN are not going to achieve peace. European Union positions are not going to achieve peace. The American position may not achieve peace, but we believe that we have the right as a sovereign country to look at this issue and decide what we think is the right result. The right result, Secretary Pompeo decided, was to make clear that settlements are not illegal per se, despite the UN resolution.
If I would ask you to write a script, right, for a movie, how would you write the situation in which the Palestinians are saying, all right, we are going back to the table after we know how the administration thinks?
I think people are mistaken in that they think that what the administration thinks is going to make peace. What will only make peace are the Israelis and the Palestinians sitting down and working out all these very many complicated issues between the two of them. The U.S. has a right to take its positions, and in many cases, as you pointed out, we've supported the Israeli positions. But ultimately, the only thing that will achieve peace is the two sides sitting together. But use of the word occupation, the 2334, and the many other resolutions at the UN, which has been so terribly biased against Israel, in my opinion, drive peace further and further behind. They don't help bring the parties together, they push them further apart.
You know, we've been waiting for the peace of the century to be put on the table. It's not happening. Lately, I've read that the president is, he doesn't like losers regarding the Israeli political situation,
look,
of course.
We worked very hard for 3 years on putting together this peace proposal. I don't like using the term of the deal of the century. I think it's a term that somebody changed to become a pejorative, meaning a negative term. But I think the administration is waiting for the right time to put down the peace plan. There is no good time to put it down, but clearly in the midst of your government coalition, after a second election, not the right time to put it down. We'll see what happens, whether you're able to form a government or not, and then the administration, which I'm no longer part of, will make a decision. But I think it would be a shame if they don't lay down the vision, and then if we lay down the vision, I hope that the Israelis and the Palestinians will take it seriously, look at it. There's a lot of great things in there for both sides. There's a lot of compromises that both sides would have to make to reach a deal. But the deal is not going to be struck by this decision. What this decision does is, in my view, right a historical wrong, and I credit the Trump administration for doing that.
Yeah, you already left the White House just recently, but you are still involved with the peace plan. What do you think is going to happen with it? Is it going to be something we can rely on?
I spent a lot of time in the region, not just with Israelis and Palestinians, and now with Saudis, but I've spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, and so on. And the region has really touched my heart, it's touched my soul, and I hope that people take it seriously. I hope that people get past the political statements and the rhetoric and really look at what was crafted by the administration and understand that it comes from a place of friendship and heart and, of course, truth, and take it seriously. And it'll be up to the two sides, really, to make a deal. But what the administration does feel, and what I feel very strongly about, is using the wrong terminology is harmful. So, for example, I think you've seen me do this on Twitter. I don't call them settlements. I call them cities and neighborhoods. Why do I call them cities and neighborhoods? Because that's what they are. People use the term settlements now because it's a negative term, and it divides people on the issue. There's cities and neighborhoods, land that the Palestinians claim is theirs, the Israelis claim is theirs. But the only way an answer is going to come about as to whose land it might be.
Yeah, but it's very favorable for the Israelis. It's less favorable for the Palestinians. But I'm guessing it's going to be a long discussion if you start it and open it again. I have one last question that is super important for the Israelis. You landed in Riyadh just a few hours ago, and your first meeting was with the Saudi blogger that we all know here in Israel who speaks Hebrew. And many people thought that maybe he's somebody who's putting up a mask or something. He's not real. And you can tell us this guy is real.
Oh, he's definitely real. First of all, the meeting was not prearranged. I literally set it up as I touched down at the airport in Riyadh, so there's no way he cannot be real. I met him for coffee. We had a great discussion. He's a courageous young man. I give him a lot of credit. And I think more people should be doing what he's doing throughout the region. I think one of the biggest problems with this conflict is the societies are so far apart they don't talk to each other. That's going to make it very hard to achieve peace. But with people like him, when you talk to people, you can start to chip away at some of the stereotypes and the conflict and talk honestly and with raw emotion and try to work through the issues. So I give him a lot of credit, and I can tell you, based on my meeting with him, he seems very real and a very likable fellow.
Okay, Jason Greenblatt, you are also very real. Thank you so much for talking with us from Riyadh.
Thank you, Attila. It's great to hear your voice. Lee Trowett.
Same here. Thank you.